everyone. Today we're going to learn number time and test sequences. Let's get started. Let's start with the first one, that is number test. Can you see the sequence of numbers on screen? Now the question reads, how many 7s are there which are preceded by a 4 and followed by a 1? Let's try to break this question down and understand what it says. It says, how many 7s are there which are preceded by a 4? That means a 4 should come just before the 7, okay, and followed by a 1. That means the 7 should be followed by a 1. A 1 should come next to the 7, right? So would you get something like this? A 4, then a 7 and a 1, right? Now just keep the sequence in mind, 4, 7, 1, and try to look for this in the question. How many times can you see 4, 7, 1 in the whole question? I think you can see one there, you can see one there, and you can see one there. So basically there are 3 such occurrences where you are getting a 4 before a 7 and a 1 after the 7. So your answer would be 3. Question number 2. The question says, how many 3s are there in the above sequence which are preceded by an 8 but not followed by a 1? That means you should have an 8 before the 3, but there should not be a 1 after it. So how many times does that happen in the sequence? I think it happens once here and one more time here. So it's happening twice, so your answer is 2. Now let's raise the bar. Question number 3. The question reads, how many 5s are there which are not preceded by a 3 or 4 and not followed by an 8 or 9? Now that's a lengthy and a tricky question. So whenever you get such lengthy questions, all you need to do is just break the question down into smaller parts. That'll make it really easy. Okay. So the question says you have to look for 5s. So first mark all the 5s in the sequence, something like this. Now it says you have to look for the 5s which are preceded by a 3 or which are not preceded by a 3 or 4. But what we will do is we'll do the exact opposite. First we'll look for the 5s which are preceded by a 3 or 4 and we'll cross those 5s, something like this. Okay. Now the question says you have to look for 5s which are not followed by an 8 or 9. But what will we do? We'll look for the 5s which are followed by an 8 or 9 and we'll cross them, something like this. Now all you're left with are the 5s which follow the question's condition. So basically you're left with 2 5s. So your final answer would be 2. There are 2 5s which follow the given condition. Question number 4. The question reads, how many odd numbers are there which are a multiple of 3 or 5 and they are followed by an even number which is followed by an odd number? So first you look for odd numbers which are multiples of 3 or 5. It happens at all these places, like all these numbers which we have marked here, right? Now look for the numbers from these which are followed by an even number. That happens at all these places. Now finally look for the places where this even number is followed by an odd number, and that happens here and here. So you get there are 2 such points where the condition is followed. So your answer would be 2. Now let's take these questions to alphanumeric sequences where you will have sequences of alphabets, numbers and symbols. Alphabets are A to Z, numbers 0 to 9, and everything else is a symbol. So just have a look at this question. The question reads, how many symbols are there in the sequence which are preceded by an alphabet and followed by a number? So basically you have to look for this sequence, an alphabet, then a symbol and then a number. Keep it in your mind, alphabet, symbol, number. So how many times can you see that in the sequence? I think it happens 2 times, so your final answer is 2. Next question. The question says, which is the 4th element to the left of the 7th element from the left end? Now start this question from this point. Look at the 7th element from the left end. So the 7th element would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Now that's the 7th element from the left end. Then it reads 4th element to the left of it. So go 4 places to the left. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. So we reach at P. That's your final answer. We have got a shortcut formula for this question. Let's see how to go about it. See, whenever in the question it says a left end and there is another left in the question, a left end and another left that we have marked here, when you have such a thing, all you need to do is subtract their positions like 7 and 4. If you subtract them, you will get 3, right? So all you need to do is look at the third element from the left. That's your final answer. Now, let's take the same question and change the words left into right. So now the question becomes, you have to find the 4th element to the right of the 7th element from the right end. Okay. Again, when you have a right and a right end, you have to apply the same concept. When you have a right and a right end, subtract the 2 positions. 7 minus 4. It becomes 3. So your final answer would be the third element from the right end. So your answer would be 2. Let's change the question a bit to get our next question. So what we've changed is, now it's a right and a left. Okay. So you have to find the 4th element to the right of the 7th element from the left end. You can see here there is a left end and there is a right. When you have a right and a left, just add the 2 positions. So 7 plus 4, it will be 11, and you're talking about the left end here. So your answer would be the 11th element from the left end. So your answer is Z. Let's look at the last variant of this question. You have to find the 4th element to the left of the 7th element from the right end. So again, you have a right end here and a left here. So when you have a right and a left combination, add the 2 numbers. 7 plus 4, it will be 11. So you have to look at the 11th element from the right end. So your answer would be Y. That's all about number tests. Now let's go to ranking tests. So we have an interesting question for you. The question reads, Peter ranks 6th from the top in a class and 4th from the bottom. How many students are there in the class? To understand this question, first let's try to understand some basic concepts of ranking sequences. So let's take this example. Say there are 5 students in the class, A, B, C, D and E, and their ranks are 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now let's take the example of anyone, say C. What is C's rank from the top? It is 3. And C's rank from the bottom? It is 3 again. So if you add 3 plus 3, it becomes 6, which is 1 more than the total number of students in the class. Let's take one more example. Let's take the case of say D. D's rank from the top is 4th and his rank from the bottom is 2nd. So if you add the top rank 4 and the bottom rank 2, the sum will again be 6, which is 1 more than the total number of students in the class. It will happen with every student. So can we generalize this, that top rank plus bottom rank is always equal to n plus 1, where n is the total number of students in the class. Now you may have a question in your mind, where does this n plus 1 come from? Actually, you're counting the concerned person's rank twice, once from the top and once from the bottom. So it is plus 1. Using this concept, let's try to solve the question that I had given. Peter's rank is 6th from the top and 4th from the bottom. How many students are there in the class? Let's apply our concept. Top rank is 6, bottom rank is 4. 6 plus 4, that is 10, is equal to n plus 1. So n would be 10 minus 1, that is 9. So there are 9 students in his class. Next question. Stan is 16th from the right in a row of 30 students. What is his rank from the left? Let's see how it can be solved. See, basically this question is similar to the top-bottom ranking one which we did earlier. So instead of top and bottom, we have right and left here. Okay. So the concept, let's try to apply the same concept here. His rank from the left plus his rank from the right is equal to n plus 1, where n is the total number of students in the class. Rank from the left, we don't know. Rank from the right is 16th and n is 30. So rank from the left plus 16 is equal to 30 plus 1. If you solve this, his rank from the left would be 15th. Next, let's go to a tricky question. So the question reads something like this. A stands 15th from the left end and B is 16th from the right and C is 5th to the right of A and 4th to the left of B. That sounds really tricky, but it's not that tough. Let's try to break the question down into smaller parts and understand it. First, look at C. See, C is to the right of A and to the left of B. That means he's somewhere between A and B. Alright. Now, let's try to find his position from the left end and from the right end. See, so A's position is 15th from the left end and C is 5 places to his right. So, can we say that C's position from the left end would be 15 plus 5, that is 20. Similarly, let's try to find his position from the right end. B is 16th from the right and C is 4 places to his left. That means C's position from the right end would be 16 plus 4, that is 20 again. So now let's try to apply the concept that we have learned so far. If you see the position of C, rank of C from the left end is 20 and from the right end again is 20. So we know that rank from the left end plus rank from the right end is equal to n plus 1. That is 20 plus 20 is equal to n plus 1. So n would be equal to 39. Now let's go to the last part of this topic, that is time sequence test, which is the easiest of all the three. So let's take a question. Andy says his sister's birthday comes between the 15th and the 18th of a month. And his brother Ben says that his sister's birthday falls between the 16th and the 19th of the same month. Now you have to find that when does their sister's birthday actually is. Now let's see how to go about this question. See, Andy and Ben, both of them are talking about the same girl, that is their common sister. So according to Andy, her birthday falls between the 15th and the 18th. That means there could be two possible dates, 16th or 17th. And according to Ben, the possible dates are 17th and 18th. Now, which is the common date among the two? It is the 17th of that month. So as they have one common sister and both of them are talking about the same girl, her birthday must fall on the 17th of that month.